All right, guys. Hey, what's up? It's Your Neighbor podcast. You got me, Monte, Reyement, and episode 23.
23, baby. This
Anthony
is
Alvarado.
Anthony Alvarado back in the studio. It feels good to be back.
It does.
I mean,
I feel like we need to do like 3 episodes a week.
I feel like we need to do like a recap of what we've been doing, period, over the last several months. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Let's not do that today, though.
But not today. Who did we have in last?
Oh, we had Taylor Miller.
Taylor Miller.
How awesome was
Team
Taylor?
member. Awesome.
She had her big premiere.
And the premiere for the documentary.
That was awesome.
So it's probably going to go on Netflix.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about this morning.
She's incredible.
And so if you didn't check it out, episode 22, Miller Highlights came in the studio. Also, Taylor is one of our team members, so we've been creating content together. We're going to be up-and-coming realtor, really talking about marketing for real estate agents.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about what we have going on is we have so many multi-talented, like not just like we just happen to be a real estate company, but we have so many other things going on, which is so cool. And Taylor's going to be a huge piece of that. So
that's right. Speaking about so many things going on, there's something I wanted to mention that we didn't get a chance to mention last podcast. It's just a shout out to our sponsors, to Chicas for coming alongside of us, being one of our latest sponsors for the moving truck. Also THC, JC Santee. We have a whole bunch of people out there.
Fox City's Home Buyers.
Fox City's Home Buyers. So we just want to show some love to you guys for supporting us. And that also helps us to make things like this happen.
Yeah, for sure. These guys are awesome. They support us. We support them. That's how the world works. Create your own economy.
That's right. So this week, what we're talking about is actually support. We're talking about mental health in the workplace. And this is what we call the Take Action Mashup. So we had the ladies answer the questions, and now the men are in the room. So let's go introduce. Hey. Are you going to say what you were going to say?
I don't know. Should I say it?
No, you should.
I think we got a big pile of meat.
We got a big pile of meat over here on the left. So let's go. So who do we got?
Where's the beef? I guess. It's like, what's going on?
It's over there.
It's over here. So
I'll be in my office, guys.
So, of course, you have.
I'm mentally unstable now.
You've seen these faces before, but introduce yourself because you haven't been on the podcast for some time.
Kevin Barry, realtor here at Take Action Realty.
Let's go.
And I'm Kevin Barry. I'm Rob Metcalf.
This is the famous.
This is Rob. We've been trying to get on the podcast.
This is the real deal.
And we made it mandatory today. He didn't have a choice.
I had no idea I was going to be on camera. And I just had lunch and now I'm sleepy. So I just crushed a warm energy drink out of the car so I could keep up with you guys.
at least your hair's looking good.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You got your hair cut last Friday. I saw you. Your hair's looking good, too.
That beard's, you guys got like the beard meat gang over there.
We have a club.
We have a little.
It goes like
a little scruff.
Like big beard to small beard.
It does. Big beard to small beard.
Brothers.
That's right. So we're gonna ask the same questions, everybody. I'm gonna be your moderator today, and so we are gonna try to answer these questions really in the next few minutes here. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, we do unfortunately have a mental health crisis that's happening around the world, and that is impacting our employers. And so what, Monte? What is Take Action doing to support the team's mental health, especially in a market that is really stressful?
Yeah, I think one of the really unique things that we have going on here, and it's really something I always wanted to be able to do, is just have an open workplace where people can go in and they can talk about certain things. And I think we've made that part of our culture. There's a vulnerability, even with the guys. Like, you guys are big guys, and we talk about feelings, right? Like, that's not a man thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, we're open about it.
Wait, men talk about feelings?
Right. So little things like that. And, obviously incorporating, Brad and Carrie into our workspace and making it okay.
Yeah.
Allowing that to be a conversation piece is something I wanted to do. And I think it's like, if you guys ever get a chance to come in here, and you can see this, but you'll see our culture and how tight we are and how supportive we are. And it's not just it's not a female thing all the time. The guys are the ones that have much higher suicide rates.
That's right. Especially between that like 35 to 45 years old, which a lot of us are hitting. Right. You know what I mean? So we're in that age category.
You hit it. I think everybody goes through this, and I don't know that I've ever gotten to a point where I've ever felt like I was needed to take my life. Right. But there's moments in I'm sure every single one of you feel this way.
Ups and downs,
you got stuff, but guys specifically there's a lot that we carry, and we can't express it. We can't take it out. Inadequacy issues, right? Like, am I doing enough? And that's something I think
imposter syndrome, all of that.
Yeah. So I wanted it just to be open and allow our team and our company to be that company that makes it okay.
Well, and out of all the places I've ever worked, this is probably one of the most accepting and safest places I've ever been, just from an emotional standpoint. Where people are open enough to actually discuss things that are bothering them and can lean on their team members and connect with the people that work
That's
here.
right.
It's last week we had an amazing team training. Carrie came in and it got deep real fast.
Super deep.
We had no
Yeah,
intention
yeah.
of doing it either. It was just
we
one of
didn't know
those.
we were
Like,
moving blocks.
Yeah.
I looked at Anthony at one point in the meeting and I go, "You just gotta let it
run.
go.
Just
Yeah.
let it run.
Just let it
You
roll."
know?
Because there was a lot of stuff that came out last
Yeah.
week that was all like in a good way.
Yeah.
But it was just like, we go through gratitude
Mhm.
every single week and we
Mhm.
practice that, and it was really cool. And I was like, hey, this is one of those days. We're not worried about CRM
Exactly.
training. We're not worried about any other training. This is a
It was
human
the
day. This is
people
our
thing.
human day.
So the gratitude thing,
Yeah.
every week at the beginning of our
Mhm.
meetings, we take a second and we talk about things that we're grateful for, things that we're happy about,
Mhm.
things that we've accomplished, just good news, basically.
Yeah.
And I found in myself, it's actually been a huge help in just changing my mindset. I've been so much happier. I'm
Yeah.
focusing on the right things.
Mhm.
I'm looking for the good rather
Yes.
than just kind of sinking back and just being stagnant. Like
That's
I'm
right.
looking for good things. And
Waiting for the shit to
yeah,
come to
your
you.
brain totally changes.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you stick with that for a couple months, your brain switches.
Exactly.
It's awesome. I'm so happy that we're doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
well,
love
I'm glad we
I
could.
love
I'm
the
glad
point.
we could create that environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even just with this morning's meeting, everybody just talking about last week's meeting. I mean, how many times do you go to a business and you're literally talking about the meeting that happened last week, Tuesday, and how much it's changing, and that transcended into the weekend where people are saying, hey, I'm looking to get blocks out of my way. I'm looking to really get out of my own way and take better care of myself. And that's something that I heard you talk about. So when you think about, how we're creating this kind of culture and taking care of our mental health here, I hear you're getting back into more self-care and more motivated to work out, for example. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I just felt like when I felt like I was in really good shape. You just feel like you get a lot done. It also builds your self-esteem. You're more confident about everything you're doing, and plus you feel like you can organize whatever you're trying to do in a better set compared to like having to have all these other different things that are like clouding your mind or kind of slowing down where you want to achieve your goal, but then there's other things that are like diverting you off that path of getting to achieving what you want to get done.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So one of the things that we've been talking about is consistency is key.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I wanted to mention to you, Monte, is anxiety and stress happens.
Yeah.
Especially as a new business owner.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're not even a year in.
And so
you know?
what are you doing to take better care of yourself as one of the owners, and
Yeah.
how is that like trickling down to the rest of your team? Because
Yeah, I
I know
think-
I'm already like dialed in with you.
Right,
We're trying to
right.
work on it every
Yeah,
week,
you and
right?
I, all four of us, really, like we have conversations on a daily basis. It's like one of the cool things is, again, is like I say this to you all the time.
Mhm.
Do you or be you, do you,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like if you go to me, hey, I have a concern about this. I trust you at this point. It's like, hey, just do you.
Yep.
Like and then you have that comfortability to go and do it. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a micromanager by
Yeah.
any means. It's like I
You have
trust
support.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the CEO, right? So
Mhm.
my job is to be the helper
Mhm.
and do all of the things. Now, with that being said, I'm also the CEO and 35 other things right now until we get people into their roles. And I have
A lot of different hats.
Yeah. So for me personally, number one is, first of all, I've changed how I've eaten.
Mhm.
That's been a big thing. It gives me a lot more energy, although I just went through a sugar buzz rush this weekend to get it all out of my system.
Right.
But whenever I get to a point where I'm really stressful, the gym is my place.
Yeah.
Body Central on Glendale.
Mhm.
That's almost like my church. I don't
Yeah.
go to church. A lot of people need to go to church to get that sense of community.
Yeah, but you have a sense of belonging there.
That's my
Yeah.
place, right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I exercise there. The people there have a great attitude. So that wears off on me and it allows me to release that stress and do all the things. There's so many good things, obviously, about exercise. I haven't really heard anything bad about it yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
you
I'm
can
told
strain
you're supposed to
yourself.
do it other than getting tired. So
Yeah, you might throw your back out.
right. So, but exercise has been huge. I think your health you have to take care of first. And
Yeah.
always when you get to a point where you're super stressed, you have to look back at your health, because if you're not healthy,
Mm-hmm.
then nothing else is going to work.
Yeah.
If you're dead, nothing works.
That's right.
So,
That's right. That's
So I
right.
always start there first is
If
go
you're
back.
dead.
No, that's
I
so
mean,
true.
literally.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it and I die, what happens? Everything is gone.
Yes.
What just happened?
You need to take better care of yourself.
Right.
You
I
have a
think
whole
about that.
team that you're
I do.
accountable. Now.
I have like 13 people that rely on me
Yep.
right now, and more. And with the contractors and the people that aren't necessarily under our brand
That's
that
right.
that are outside of there. So I take that. That's what part of the reason why I quit drinking.
Mhm.
Is like there's a lot more risk for others than there is for me, and I take that obviously very seriously. So
Yeah.
Just taking care of your health is number one, and then being able to come to you guys when
Mhm.
shit's bothering me and have those conversations. You guys have been great. As you know, we've had a transition here. So that's been really instrumental for me to be able to come and just like let it out.
Exactly.
Be like, hey, this is what's
so you
going on.
have your support.
Yeah, I actually got to give you a lot of credit because since I've started in August, I've seen actually a shift in you in terms of how you manage and how you allow people space to do what they're good at. I mean, you hired good people to do a good job, and you're trusting them, and that's really a credit to you. You've done a really great job of like adjusting and they actually can do that. Let them just go do it.
Well, and I think too is I hired you for a reason. That's number one. But number two is in the beginning is that feeling out stage. Like, how much support do you need from me? How much, and for you specifically, like you were put in a very unfair position from the get-go because we knew, I knew what you're capable of. I just didn't know all of what you're capable of, and trying to define your role within our organization was really hard. And I know that was
different directions.
And I know that was super stressful on you, and it wasn't necessarily fair. And I meant what I said was like, I don't know your role yet, but you will define your role, and we're starting to morph into that now, which is really cool. But that was a tough spot.
That's actually a really cool spot to kind of focus in on. So to talk a little bit more, and then I'll get back to you, Kevin, is like, what are we doing here as a team to eliminate some of that stress in this startup phase? And we're 10 months in, all new roles, changing, coming in, trying to start and create something that can be awesome, and also very terrifying, right? Right. So what are we doing here to kind of manage some of that?
Well, I mean, we've done quite a bit of adjusting over the past month. There's been some changes, and it's been, I think, more efficient. We've moved forward with a few different operational things, adjusted some systems that we have in place,
eliminated a lot of unnecessary stuff.
And things are just becoming a little more streamlined. People are identifying things that they can just move forward with and be a little more, adjust faster to different
clarity
things.
is kind.
So it's really excellent. I think that it's starting to mesh and gel into place, and I think things are moving a lot faster. Than they were, which is cool
because they're taking care of the team.
Kevin knows too. Like, this goes back to a sports analogy though. But once you know the playbook, and the playbook is simple, you play a lot faster, right?
Yeah. And so how are you? Because I saw you kind of sitting back last week, and you're like, man, I didn't know we were going to go this deep. How is that coming up for you? Like, I mean, every week it seems like we're growing as a team. And how special is that? What is it like being a part of the team that is really showing up and saying, I'm taking care of myself first?
Kev's the OG too. He's the one that, like, he's the only one left that came with everybody. Like he's now the ride or die.
That's right. That's right.
Well, like they said, the adjustment's been going well, especially like lately. Like, you do see more progress with a lot of things because there's a standstill for different things, but it's just like the unknown with it all. But now we're starting to move forward with it all. And like last week's meeting, like I said, was like big for everybody because I think everybody had things going on, but they just didn't realize like how other people are dealing with that too. But they get out there and they like got more comfortable as meeting was going on, and you just see everybody was just like,
and you're right, everybody, everybody got into it.
And then Carrie came in and just lit fires. She was throwing wizard fingers out.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I sat in it for the last really week, to be honest with you. It's something for me. So I'll just share a little bit. One of the things that we were doing in this leadership intensive is really getting into what blocks are coming up from us. In other words, what is holding us back from succeeding in our personal and professional lives, right? And for me, it was really just acceptance. And acceptance for me at this point in my life is really big. I just turned 40. I know I talked about it verbatim.
Did you guys know that?
And at the same time, like there, and it sounds a little morbid, but I heard on a podcast yesterday with Brene Brown, Tim Ferriss did a recap on his like 10 years of existence. And Brene Brown was saying something that I really feel, and I felt it really strongly this last year, which was basically saying like, as soon as my son passed away and I turned 40, it was kind of like the world was like, hey, I want to let you know, you don't have forever, and accepting that this is where I'm at in my life today. The good, the bad, the ugly, the opportunities, all of it.
Right.
Accepting like this is an amazing place. We're kicking off the ground. And while things aren't perfect, I'm so excited, but just accepting that I'm a CMO. I'm a new dad. I'm 40. I have some stress and anxiety that I'm dealing with at this time in my life. And it's not just going away with medication or self-care. That sucks. And I'm learning and growing. And just accepting that has been such a huge relief where I can say anxiety and depression that I do quote unquote struggle with at times in my life and saying, death to that, like I'm accepting that as part of my life, but it doesn't mean it defines me.
Well,
Does
and
that make sense?
there's something almost freeing about that. It releases you into doing more and being who you are and moving forward with your life rather than being not necessarily trapped, but like comfortable in feeling a certain way. So I think that's great that you've kind of started to adopt that a little bit. I mean, that's something everybody's got to go through.
I think the other thing too that's cool for all of us is that anytime we get into a spot and we own that shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like as soon as you own it, you can move on from it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think what you just did there was like you were holding on to something for, really for obvious reasons, but at the same time, it's not defining you anymore.
Exactly.
You owned it. It's done. Let's move on.
Right.
That's right. Like my recovery today, especially in mental health, looks way different the last 10 years and probably look quite a bit different this next 10 years as I go into my 40s, right?
Right.
And that's okay. And even like sobriety changing, recovery changing, all those things for mentally, like you talked about, you're changing your pathways. And ultimately, how we're showing up every single day here at work is helping in that process. And so, last question, just about work here, and then we'll go into a little bit of a speed round, is what could Take Action be doing better, or what are we doing so right that we're going to keep it moving when it comes to creating a healthy culture for people to do well here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the beginning of our meetings, every single meeting, starting with gratitude has been if you own a business and you guys have leadership meetings or you just have company meetings and you don't have 35 people in there, I don't think it would be.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd
get
be
10
able to do it
seconds.
there.
Go.
I don't think we'd be able to do it then.
Okay.
But we've incorporated, because again, at the end of the day, you want, like for me, progress is freeing as well.
Yeah.
So we have our gratitudes that we do every single meeting to start. And now we've incorporated the 7% rule, which is 1% better every single day.
Yeah.
So every single week, it helps everybody know, like, hey, I got to come to this meeting and know that I got a little bit better this week.
Yeah.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be anything work related. It just has to be like in their personal development.
Well, the nice thing about that too is it helps people realize progress, not perfection. Right.
Exactly. You
Like,
stack that.
It's so easy to get stuck with like, I got to be perfect and I have this huge thing I got to accomplish and I got to be the best realtor out there, whatever it is.
Right.
Best athlete, whatever it happens to be. Right. But I made a step.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a little bit more.
The small attainable wins.
The other
every
crazy
single
part that
day,
I heard
right?
today
Yeah.
in our meeting was the journaling.
Yep.
So many people talked about journaling today, and I was blown away by that.
Yeah.
Because I video journal. Like, that's my thing. Is I look back on. That's the reason why I share a lot of stuff on Facebook now, is so I can go back to my history and go,
that's actually
holy shit, this is where I was 5-6 years ago. And
Yeah.
I look at some of the stuff that we did in remodeling and other stuff, and I'm like, oh my God.
You see some of your old stuff. You're like,
What were we doing?
Why
Why did I sit on that property for 4 months before starting it? How stupid were we?
Yeah.
But those are the kinds of things that I can just like appreciate the journey and appreciate where I am, because I think you get caught so quickly with blinders on and you get caught in the
You
mud
get
of like,
overwhelmed.
you get overwhelmed and you like have to look back and go, oh, the starting line is way back there now. I don't know where the finish line is, but the starting line, I can barely see it now.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't forget where you started.
That's right. And it helps keep you accountable. So something that you talked about too is like, we started talking about journaling. Just, I use men's journal for our mind journal, for example, is specifically designed for men. But in that is like a weekly gratitude, right? And
is that an app you're using? Or?
And so, what was that?
Is it an app? On your phone?
It's not, but it's just a nice, like, printed out journal that you can hold on to.
Cool.
But just to be able to journal on a daily basis.
You're a dude and have a diary?
I know, right? I know. But what it allows me to do is every single day it allows me to identify what are my priorities. I'm going to time block them out. And that includes not just work, but your self-care as well. So I literally will call, I'll put in like, call your grandma, work out. And like today, like working out before work, I haven't worked out before work for like 2 months. I did not want to. I did not want to go downstairs. Sorry.
Yeah.
I did not want to go downstairs at all. And I did anyways. I know I said it. It's
all right.
But I did, and I felt really good
now.
about it. So just showing up and doing the work and embracing the mess sometimes is the answer.
23 episodes, we finally got an F-bomb out of you.
Yeah, we finally got an F-bomb. All right, last 5 minutes. We got speed round. So here we go. I'm going to ask some questions. They're super, super simple. So I'm going to start with Rob over here.
Oh, boy.
So here we go. How are you boosting your mood today?
Aside from the hot energy drink I just
Yeah, that's right.
honestly, like Tuesdays are our training day. We have everybody in the office. I get to be a resource on some things. Like we do this thing where I talk about different components of a house, like a roof or a foundation or whatever, and I get to teach these people a little bit about what to look for when they're walking through a house and looking at a property for a potential buyer. Yeah, so there's like a lot of random things that people don't know, and you can't be an expert at everything, but if you're exposed to it, you know what to look for, and like just connecting with people and just being a little bit of a resource, and it's great because everybody asks questions and they light up, and we have an interaction, and
you feel like you have value.
It's great. It's great. Yeah.
Those are little things that we use. Like even I've seen when I've gone through houses and like kind of just like, oh, that's right. Or you see like you can recognize things more when you're like going at a house.
Yeah, at least your brain like, oh, that's the thing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And you're offering value, which is super great. And all of us are walking away. Like, when I go up to the cabin now, I'm like, I can see those windows right there. Better get that condensation.
Yeah, condensation.
Condensation. So, here a quick tip of how you're alleviating stress.
Give myself like 30 minutes where I'm just cut off everything and not playing around with your phone or whatever. Like, shut the TV off.
Wait, you eliminate distractions?
I don't trust me.
You shut your phone
That's
off?
tough, man. Yeah.
I just put it away or flip it over or something like that and just turn off the sound.
Yeah.
But just give myself 30 minutes, kind of reflect, kind of get myself together, kind of figure out what my day is going to be like or just how I'm going to even do the week. It's just give yourself some kind of set little goals you can get start with your week with.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I
need to do that more. That's great advice.
Even if it's just like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I learned this a long time ago, and when I was in 8th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I was on the wrestling team. I was very good at wrestling. But our coach would, in the locker room, and there's no windows in the locker room, turn the lights off. Dead silence, and all I wanted to do was think about your match.
Yeah.
And it taught, like, during that time, it taught me, I was very good. And it taught me how to meditate almost in that point and just be in that moment and eliminate, like you said, distraction. Now, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have all that other stuff. But occasionally I'll find myself just being in that spot. Yeah. I don't have to have the lights off, but just completely silent and done. And if you can do that for like even a minute to 3 minutes a day, your whole day is going to be that much more productive.
Especially if you're doing it first moment in the day. If you're grabbing your phone immediately when you wake up and it's the last thing you put down, you might want to look at that again.
Oh, I definitely
know all of us here probably do that, including myself.
Big time.
But if I take that 30 minutes to stretch before bed, which I used to never stretch, now I'm doing it every single day. You know what I mean? And just downtime before I try to lay down at night helps my brain to slow down a little bit. My brain goes pretty quick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in the morning, it's so easy just to jump on social. And before you know it, you're in the email and you're overwhelmed and you're like, holy crap, I got to get to work. And you're stressed out, right? This happens to me all the time. This is why I got a speeding ticket a few weeks back, right? Yeah. Like I just get caught in the moment. But taking that downtime is really.
You know, it's crazy. You were here early today. Before
I know. I was wondering if somebody was looking.
Is Anthony here? I heard his voice.
I told you last week. Remember I said I was going to be in earlier. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna answer one of the questions. Is basically like, when have you experienced an act of random kindness? So one thing that people forget is like when you talk about mental health, sometimes the way we show up for other people, especially how we show up for ourselves, makes a huge difference. And so I think about like just reaching out to Taylor, you know, on Saturday and just at the end of the night when I knew she was probably going to be wiped out and just saying, hey, I see you. Yeah. You're doing a great job. Yeah. Keep doing it. And just for her to just message back and be like, I'm so grateful that you
it's
just
amazing.
Sent this
a one
message.
sentence
just a little quick moment on your
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having somebody, you know, come through this last week, I've had a lot of celebrations. People have showed up for me in a really similar way, and it meant the world to me. So just doing that back, that really can help to add to somebody's positive mental health.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
I'm thinking about you. Good job.
Yeah, that's it. And people appreciate that. Like, people get stuck so much into like nobody. They like in the world of social media and to being able to be connected. People are still so not connected.
That's right.
Right.
And for that, you know, and you guys know I do this all the time, but I'm sending messages all the time to people and be like, hey, awesome job. Keep up the good work. Like,
I've been on the receiving end of that.
You're a master networker, honestly. Like the amount of connections that you maintain and can foster a close, functional relationship with people is
thanks.
Yeah.
But if somebody,
it means a lot.
If somebody
somebody
pops into my head, there's a reason. I don't know why. Sometimes just things come in and I'll shoot them a message and be like, yo, dude, how you doing? Miss you, love you, bro.
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it just like gets people to think about that. It's not me like, I just don't ever want to be in that position where nobody's thinking about me.
Exactly.
You know, so I always like, hey, haven't talked to you in 2 months. How's it going?
Yeah,
How you feeling?
Yeah.
Where you at? What's life? Let's
Speak-
go hang out.
Right.
Let's have a campfire. I don't know.
Speaking about sharing, so one thing that if you ever get a message from me that seems random, if it's just like a song or like some kind of random thing, it's because when I watched that thing, I thought of you, right?
Mhm.
And maybe it's a song that the lyrics, right, really resonated with me.
Yeah.
So the last question is actually about music, and I'm going to dish it over to you.
Yeah.
What song are you listening to right now that really hype you up? I mean, when you're feeling down, you're feeling.
And I always go
It's
back.
been a grind. I mean,
You asked
know
me
what I mean?
before, like one of the things that I do is I always go back and listen to the lyrics in Glorious from
Yeah.
Macklemore. Like
Yeah.
that, especially the first verse
Yeah.
is it so powerful that that's a reset for me.
That's a reset.
Can you
You
sing
know.
a little bit for us?
No.
Yeah. No.
I need to put the headphones on.
Yeah.
I need to
It's a
test
whole
the
thing.
audio.
It's a whole thing. We can't get into it.
I'm not in tune right now.
I'm warmed up.
But to be honest with you, I love the way that music can heal. You know, I know we were
Yeah.
talking to the astronomers not that long ago.
Yeah, they're so
and,
amazing too.
you know,
The
one of-
Occasion's a great one that I go back
Yes.
to. Like just listening to that song and the words in the Occasion, and then like
Yeah.
if I just want to chill, I'm listening to Orange Afternoon, and
That's right. That's right.
you know, thinking
Oh.
about the days on the lakes and
Well, that's good. That's good. So this is the speed round. It is the team mashup. So we are going to be coming back with the entire team as much as we possibly can throughout the year. This one's about workplace mental health. And so we're hoping
Yeah.
that you can take this information and put it into your own workplace, whether that's your office at home or a big office somewhere in the community. You should be thinking about how you take care of yourself so you can show up at work and take care of your community. So we thought we'd share this out to you. If you love what you're listening to, please go ahead and subscribe. Please go ahead and check out our events as well. We have, let's see, we have the big stroll on the streets,
well, that'll
and
be done by the time this comes out.
it comes out. But we
Yeah.
have, the big cookout.
Oh, the big
coming.
cookout.
Grill
Yeah.
and chilling.
Yeah,
So,
grilling and
grilling and
chilling.
chilling,
Kevin,
baby.
some of his old teammates will be there.
Yes. So it'll be June 15th. We're doing it from noon to 4. It's Father's Day weekend. And so we are having the Grillin' and Chillin' event here at the headquarters, Take Action, 1300 North Kemp's Court. And so you can go ahead and find that right on Facebook. Packer alumni will be there. We're also
All the
gonna
proceeds
be,
are going towards the Green Bay Glory
Green Bay
Youth Program.
Glory is going to be featured for a nonprofit of the
Yeah.
month. And we're going to have some Green Bay Glory team members come over. So if you want to do some signing, you want to take some pictures.
Some high level athletes.
I mean,
gonna be
high level
around.
athletes coming to the house. And then, of course, we have high caliber barbecue and catering. They're a good friend of mine, Dustin Johnson. Thank you so much for showing up with us.
Yeah, that's
They-
actually the name, High Caliber.
High caliber. That's literally, and they also have their own seasoning. So if you see them in store, it is the same.
Ooh, there better be some
so they're
seasoning
gonna
for
be
sale.
doing some traditional barbecue. So go and check out that traditional menu. It's going to be an amazing way to come together Father's Day weekend, June 15th, grilling and chilling.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun.
There's
so.
a lot more coming his way. Fall Fest is about to go down too.
About to
Man,
go off.
we're gonna have,
You know
we're
what
gonna
I
have a
mean?
blimp.
We're gonna have all the
Tigers.
drones out there. You know what I mean?
Tigers, maybe.
And bears.
Live
Oh
music.
my! All right, so this is Anthony Alvarado, one of your co-hosts for It's Your Neighbor Podcast, episode 23, and this is
Monte Reyement.
and this is
Kevin Barry.
and
Rob Metcalf.
thank you.
Our
so
producer,
much.
by the way.
Oh, that's
Right on.
We'll
Thanks,
be back
guys.
next week, guys. Thank you so much.